Hey everybody, welcome back to another Honcast.com presentation. I am Phil, going to be your shoutcasting host, and joining me is Toby Wan Kenobi of the Gamesta staff. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very, very well. I was having heart palpitations before. There needs to be some sort of paramedics actually standing by for this match, because this is the third final decider. It's been, I don't know the best way to actually describe it.
You know, orgasmic.
Orgasmic is, we're going to go with orgasmic.
That's the only word that can explain it. I mean, I got to be honest. It's just absolutely orgasmic.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about semifinals matches. Okay, we got KDE outmanned, 4 versus 5, missing one of their star players, and they come through. They come through best out of 3. They win 2 out of 3. They win the final 2 games of theirs. They're going to the finals.
Yeah.
Then we get MSI coming up against Drdz. I mean, the first game, you know, pretty decisive, as a matter of fact. Drdz, yeah. they held on. They really showed everybody they came here to play, and they were able to finish off the first game. The second game, wow. I mean, I got chills right now just talking about it. Literally. It's not just because it's cold in here.
No,
it's because just talking about it. Man, I'm telling you, Drdz, they came in, they hit them hard in the beginning, and then guess what? MSI, they hit right back. They were ready to be in there. It was a one-on-one, slaughterhouse. Everybody was in there. The teams were just going right at each other's throats. MSI, they did not want to go down. They just did not want to go down, and they kept buying back. They made things happen. One of their racks went down, so they went to their base and took another rack. So, took a rack of Drdz. It was just one after another, back and forth, and eventually MSI, they crawled out of out from underneath the grave, and they were able to take that win. I mean, just an absolutely phenomenal match.
Yeah, to actually win that one, like, that's something which you tell your grandkids about later, even if they don't know what Heroes of New Earth are. You'll literally find this VOD, you find this stream and say, this is what I achieved in my lifetime. That's an amazing match. We're now going to get ourselves into this match, though. This is the one that actually counts. Match 3. We've already gone through the band so far. So, I'm going to start with this one. Fade has been removed.
Wow,
she can't cut a break. She can't cut a break. Actually, one hero we haven't seen tonight, we've been begging for to actually see, is Tundra. Tundra has been missing out a lot here, but we've actually had Arachna, Fade, Valk, Engineer's been removed here. Zephyr's been taken out of this lineup as well, and that is just Band Central coming out here. Oh no, it's a Soul Reaper, a Curse Lane. MSI, they're going for stability. Glaciers is on the field here, and I'd almost actually pick Drdz to actually pick up Glaciers right now, because if you put a Glacier's aura on the back of Soul Reaper and a Cursed, you are never going to kill these guys. You get to late game and literally just bend over. You're not going to be able to actually take it.
Just take a look at the bands. I'm sure everybody's watching right now. Take a look at those bands and look where they're at. I mean, they're all in the agility column, People have been getting pounded back and forth. Arachna pounding on people. Soul Stealer pounding on people. Zephyr pounding on people. They don't want any of that. Obviously, Drdz, they don't want any of Valkyrie, especially if Trixie's able to pick him up. I mean, that's
Definitely.
first pick material for Fnatic MSI. And Engineer and Fade, those are just solid bands, all around. Obviously, Fade, that super ganking hero, and then Engineer, kind of in the same category as Valkyrie, in my opinion, where they can basically do whatever they want. Well, it's a Rampage on he's hovering over it. If he picks Rampage in this game and they win with him,
it'll definitely
change my shorts. Yes. Change my shorts if that happens.
They still haven't picked up Glacius, though. Glacius actually not being picked up. They went for Electrician and Plague Rider. Now, they still haven't picked their main carries. MSI came up straight up and said, yeah, this is what we're going to do. Brace yourself for it, guys. It's in the hands of MSI right now. There has got to be so much discussion going between these guys right now, and they've gone for Shaman and Pestilence. They've gone for Gank. They've gone for literally just mass coming out of it. Shaman, a hero we've seen so much to this tournament, but a hero which you've also seen very, very underfarmed. He's been a big player when he does get farmed, but until that point, if he doesn't get his levels up, you find him completely removed from the battle.
Well, Fnatic MSI running a try heal strategy here.
Yeah.
Something on Honcast we've seen work time and time again. In fact, I would say, like, as far as percentages go, there's probably a 95% win ratio in favor of try heal lanes or try heal games. Drdz. opting not to stop Fnatic MSI from picking up this. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's questionable, but I think that Drdz has now got their work cut out for them. It's so hard to take out a team during a team fight when you just got heals bouncing off each other one after the other.
Yeah, it is very hard. You need to actually separate them up to do that, which means you need lane pushing, which means they need something to push it out. And Defiler, perfect pick. Perfect lane pusher who can survive it. And Predator's been picked once again. Not a hero I would have gone for. Would have actually gone for a little bit more pushing style. But they've actually gone Predator as well as Defiler. And Defiler, I completely agree with. Defiler, obviously, firing off her exorcism, just takes out everything around her. The Superior just rip you to shreds. And then, of course, heals her once again after that's actually worn off. And then literally we go off again. But we still actually have one more pick to come out here from the MSI boys. But you just look at the lineup here of Drdz, and they've got it's a pretty heavy push. Like, you got Hellbringer's ulti, Defiler's ulti off the back of it too, Predator, Electrician, they're going to take care of most of the ganking that comes out of it, focusing those singular heroes to try and bring those guys down to stop this chain heal coming off. And then Plague Rider doing mass damage, of course, getting that stun up, that ulti off there, if it can come off there. And Forsaken Archer, strong, solid pick to come off the edge of it. That's a lot of damage going to come out from her as well. And literally, solid lineups from both sides. A little bit more focus on the push coming out from Drdz. They're going to try and control the lanes a little bit more, but it's a very, very easy thing for MSI to turtle to late game.
Well, here's the thing. The Legion side, Drdz, they have innate initiation with that Hellbringer. That Hellbringer ultimate is, one of the best initiation tools in the game.
Yes.
On the other hand, Fnatic MSI is going to have to get farm on that Pestilence because they are going to need him to initiate there. And, we saw Forsaken Archer basically, in my opinion, win that last game with strategic buyback, strategic pushing, times to push. I mean, Trixie was actually playing her, and he did an absolutely phenomenal job with Forsaken Archer. Looks like this time we're going to see Rexy pick up the Forsaken Archer. However, talking about the Legion side though, we did see Loda play that Electrician in that first game that you and I casted, as a matter of fact.
Yes,
and it ended up being very, very successful for them. You were talking about Predator, not necessarily here that you would go for, and I got to kind of agree. I got to agree. Obviously, he was relatively successful last game up until the end when they were able to pick up the sheep stick and utilize that and kind of take him out of the fight, allow him not to use the stone hide because he didn't have a BKB.
No,
so they were able to stun him.
He relied on his Bane to keep himself alive and try and go with smoke and mirrors strats.
They were able to basically to CC chain stun him. You know what I mean, or chain CC him, and they were able to take him out of the fights. But this time around, if he goes for something like a shrunken head, if it gets late enough in the game to actually validate him going that kind of route, then maybe we'll start to see a little bit of change in how he was played. But you mentioned ganking, they really do got it. Electrician, Plague Rider, even to some extent, he can come in out of nowhere, land a Contagion, and Predator. I mean, those are just three of the best ganking heroes. But I think this Hellboard team, they're going to need some farm. They're going to need some farm before they can really start to be dominant in game.
Yeah, they will take a very long time to actually get there, though. So the early games where we're literally going to see everything coming off. We're going to see the lanes also coming off already. As Plague Rider, very, very quick out of the blocks here. Already with the wards on top of him, running himself up there, passed onto the top lane as well. So we haven't seen a pause come out just yet, so the game's obviously not just official just yet. But we'll wait for it. Bottom lane now being pushed out here. Predator is going to actually team up with the Hellbringer lane on the bottom. Now, I was wondering what was actually going to go up. Now, on the bottom lane, we generally see Soul Reaper and Accursed, and there goes Accursed, and there goes Soul Reaper as well. So, literally, it's the lane we were expecting. I'm just wondering how hard they can really go on that bottom lane. Obviously, kills on that bottom lane, early game. If you can pull them off, fantastic. But they are very, very hard to do, and will take a lot of time and effort to actually bring them down here. As Predator actually running around behind here, they have actually split up these two heroes now. As Soul Reaper coming back in again. I'm not quite sure if Predator really wants to be in that mix there, but Hellbringer is coming back up again, and they're going to move themselves back up. But just looking at the lanes right now, that bottom lane, be one to watch to see how the CS count goes and just how hard the because that's literally what the battle is going to be. Defiler solo middle, you would have expected that for Legion. Forsaken Archer solo for the Hellborn on that one too. Electrician and Plague Rider heading up towards the top, and they'll be going up against a Pestilence and Demented Shaman too. So literally so much heal. Like the heal on Shaman on the top there, Pestilence can be so aggressive as much as he wants there. And that's going to be a very, very worrying thing here for the Legion side. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, this Hellbringer combo, they're going to have to, the Hellbringer Predator combo, they're going to have to rely a lot on their slows to kind of try to get in there. Unfortunately, Accursed, I mean, putting all those bands into the agility pool left open some powerful heroes, and Accursed is one of those heroes. It's just so hard to take him down, and it's so hard to take down anyone who's with him. I mean, his ability to basically dispel
we actually got action on top. We've actually finally had our first little bit of engagement with Plague Rider on a Beastic of Health here, as Electrician also getting blocked here by Pestilence, gets the Impale up. We might have first blood already. Electrician's trying to fall back. He does finally die here, as Pestilence tanking the tower, and he also goes down. Plague Rider sticking it out there, holding it off, and Demented Shaman and Plague Rider, the two supports you could almost say for the meelees up there on the top, are the only two left alive just there. But our first blood already coming off here, and was actually a deny coming off. It is actually 0-1 on the kill count board on my screen.
What happened was the Legion got the kill for that one, so it doesn't count towards anything. But I mean, you're right. Already, we're starting to see some action, and this is what Fnatic MSI has got to do. They got to play aggressively when they can, because it goes back to the point we were making. They do need some farm, and they got to play aggressively to get it. As now they are not afraid of this top tower. I mean, they are basically, they're not necessarily tower diving, but they're hanging right around the outer edge of that. So I mean, they have been playing very, very aggressively, and it's like I said, that's basically what they got to do.
Yeah, and I'd say playing aggressive. Look at Predator on the bottom lane. He's literally, he's not only just licking his wound, he's just trying to bandage them up while they're still actually creating even more on him, and probably seeing even an assault bath at the moment. It is not looking good here. Pushing it back here. Hellbringer being harassed here. Accursed is getting last hits here. Soul Reaper is literally just ripping him up from the sides. It's just so much. The pings are going towards the top. The pings are going towards the bottom runes. Pestilence once again, trying once again. The Impale's going off. They might be able to bring an Electrician, but still, he is so tanky early on. He is literally that answer. This massive heal, and DPS is coming out. But what a play! What a play from our big Plague Rider. Managed to actually get the contagion off there. And now they're going for Shaman. Electrician is pulling him back in again. TP's coming back in. Electrician's got to get himself back out there. He is falling back, getting harassed there slightly, but Pestilence is back up again. But what a play to get back on top of that one. Now making it 2-1 in favour of the Legion side. And in a game like this, for the Druids to actually take that small little advantage early on, it is still a massive thing for this third match of the semi-final.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it goes back to what we've seen the last two matches. Druids have done a really good job of coming in early on. Actually, we see Pestilence going in here onto Electrician, however, not going to be able to accomplish too much. But both heroes here at the top lane on the Legion side are below half health, so they're going to have to be relatively careful. As you never know when Pestilence is going to try to get in there and get a stun off, and Demented Shaman himself can do quite a bit. But it's been very, very good play from both Demented Shaman and this Electrician, both knowing when to stick in there, when to throw the heals out. Unfortunately, the Demented Shaman was unable to get a heal during that last fight in order to save Pestilence. But good support all around by both these teams.
I can't believe Pestilence is actually still level 1. That's quite an amazing feat, and it's obviously showing that he's been targeted. Now he's actually just finally popped up to level 2, while Demented Shaman's still falling back. He's taken a lot of the XP right here, which isn't generally the best thing to do, because obviously you got Plague Rider, he's up to level 4, Electrician up to level 3 as well. And they're getting their abilities up there, they're getting stronger as the game progresses, and you've got finally level 3 Pestilence actually coming up as well. He's only just managed to hit up his level 2 Impale, and that was a big thing early on. If he had that leveled up a little bit longer, the stun would have lasted a little bit longer, the damage would have been a little bit higher, and things could have turned around a little bit more here. But at the moment, still, even Steven's going across the battle. And I really got to say, the answer to the Accursed Soul Reaper lane, it's not the best one, but they're still holding in. They're gritting their teeth, the Predator and the Hellbringer on the bottom lane. And I think it's all props from the fact they're actually managing to hold on the way they are.
Oh, yeah. Taking a look at this middle lane and just some of the farm that we've seen thus far. I mean, now approaching the 5-minute mark. I mean, we're just in the starting stage of this game, but Defiler actually leading it in the creep kill score, or the creep score. Sitting at 20-5 right now, top farmer of the game, 261 gold per minute, despite not having any kills. So, those kills that they've gotten up top, including the Bloodlust kill, kind of been counteracted by the lack of farm here at the top lane. But I mean, both actually, Rexy has now kind of caught up there in the middle lane, so she's doing a pretty good job herself. Not quite at the goal per minute, but taking a look at just the other heroes, 16-1 score for Pestilence and 17-6 there for Trixie down at the bottom lane, playing Soul Reaper. So the Hellborn team right now doing overall a better job.
Yeah. They definitely are. I'm actually half favouring at the moment the Druids guys to actually come on top, because even though the farm is coming off, look at the second Defiler actually has popped level 6 now, so the explosion is actually on there now, so be very, very careful. The second that pops up there, if you get caught in the back of a stun, you will go down. But what I really want to see is, of course, boots onto Defiler, because keeping that pressure on there, obviously very, very slow at the moment, needs to actually get those islands up a little bit further, actually get the buy up. The courier flew in just before, actually dropped off a couple of consumables, but that was literally it. But once that Defiler ulti actually comes up, you want to get on top of it, you want to keep the pressure on there, you don't want to allow heroes to actually get out there, and you want to get the pressure on the tower nice and fast. Like if you have to pop up that ulti a little bit further back, you want to be able to get yourself in there a little bit closer and actually get in there. And it's Defiler moving up there towards the top rune. It should have actually spawned up there. It looks like it's actually spawned down the bottom. It's actually a regen rune down there on the bottom lane. But top lane once again getting harassed ever so slightly. I'm waiting for Defiler to actually move up there, because the second she moves, you're literally going to find a double kill. Her ulti will pop off, and if you're not ready for it, you're going to get screwed royally. And that is what they're literally just waiting for at the moment, as the courier waiting up there on the top lane. Electrician very, very low on HP, very, very confident to even stay there for that long, as the courier, I think, now actually dropping off a couple of consumables, and he will actually fire off a health potion, so he'll get himself back up there. He'll be careful not to get too close though, or else they will actually cancel that off. The second he takes an attack, it does actually come off it. So now pulling that creep wave all the way back again, so even if you do want to get close to the tower, it's not going to help. But they're already actually keeping a double pull on those larger size of creeps just around there in the Hellborn neutrals by the looks of it.
Yeah, Electrician picking up a bottle as well. And, aside from the early action that we were seeing, it's relatively slowed down. I mean, talking, the last 3 minutes, we haven't seen a whole lot. We've seen a little bit of harass back and forth. Top lanes taking a little bit of harass from each other. This bottom lane, both heroes dropping relatively low. Looks like we're going to see Soul Reaper try to go in. Here comes the heal. Is going to be enough. One more auto attack is going to do it. Here comes Predator. And they're going to try to make sure they get on out of there. So Predator going to end up going down towards the bottom of the tower. And Soul Reaper now going to pop a health potion to heal himself back up. So good play. And now we go back up to the top lane. Pestilence coming in. Going to be able to finish off that Electrician. Here comes the Menace Shaman. Put a few more auto attacks onto Plague Rider. Plague Rider maybe going to turn around and fight off a Contagion. Actually choosing not to. I guess he assumed that he was going to be able to get out of there just fine without having to worry about anything. But, Fnatic MSI, every time it looks like Druids might take a little bit of a lead, Fnatic MSI there to answer right back.
That they definitely do. A couple of quick kills, it gives them an advantage, but as we saw in the last game, that means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Taking out the racks, taking out the main objective, which is either the World Tree or, of course, this big boy here, the Sacrificial Shrine as well. If you don't take those out, there's nothing, because getting ganked up here on the top lane, Defiler's called out of position. That is a big, big loss for the Archer to actually come up there and be on top of it. Electrician was running himself in there to try and give a hand, but what a big, big loss to actually lose that much gold from your mid carry coming out here. That is something which really they did not want to see, as Predator try and make the most of it, leaping in on the bottom there, but getting ripped back off there. The Accursed Shield actually popped off, and one more hit away. Predator is from dying at the moment. They do manage to actually claim him off there, and once again, the Predator dying there on the bottom lane. Hellbringer was the last one to do it, but that makes it 5-1 right now, and MSI, they are looking very, 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 very strong right now. And, Druids, they've got to find an answer to this early game at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look just at the stats, I mean, they have almost a 3,000 gold lead, which at 10 minutes into the game, or just under 10 minutes into the game, I mean, that's actually pretty substantial. I mean, that means that they've been winning their lanes relatively well. The only exception is kind of that middle lane where it was very back and forth, and now we see three of the Legion heroes here gathering up top, maybe trying to make something happen, maybe just kind of supporting each other while they farm here in the jungle. We see Electrician. He's been doing a relatively good job up here in this top lane. Unfortunately, he was just taken out by Pestilence not too long ago, as we see Defiler denying a creep, actually. But, I mean, you know, she's actually now starting to move a little bit. However, you can't leave Forsaken Archer in the middle alone. She will take down that tower with the aid of those skeletons. You know, she can do a lot of damage. And there, just as we said, there it goes.
Yeah.
Tower going down the middle lane. And anytime you get a tower kill before the 10-minute mark, you got to consider that to be very successful.
Yeah, it's only just before the 10-minute mark, though, but it still does count. Forsaken Archer now moving herself up into the Legion neutrals. I think she knows that Defiler is up there. And if Defiler gets caught out, still has the ulti up there. Now they're going to make their move for it. Electrician's actually in a lot of trouble. Plague Rider ulti bounced up too high though, but still pushing them back here. They weren't ready for the Forsaken Archer coming in from behind, and they're having to fall back here. The ulti from Defiler is still only level 1, so there's not that many spirits buzzing around doing the damage. So in the end, they will have to fall themselves back here. But tit for tat, one goes down. Pestilence for Electrician. That is definitely a fair trade up there on the top. But still, another kill coming off here, and yet another death. And of course, speaking of another death, another one just happened on the bottom lane.
Yeah, it looks like Hellbringer was taken out here by this combo once again. You know, Soul Reaper and a Curse, not a combo you necessarily would consider to be the end-all be-all of super dangerous combos. As far as, you know, they always have a lot of lasting potential, but as far as getting in there and getting some kills, I mean, you don't really, you know, you probably wouldn't really consider them to be the end-all be-all. Are we going to restart the stream?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to restart the stream, so we'll be right back.